Hi, everything is fine. I donated blood. Serbia borders with Romania, so this is our annual Dracula tax. Everything is good. So that aside, I will explain in this video why reviews must suck. Two main reasons, and I'll discuss briefly the little that we can do to help with that, and then I will discuss also briefly what I plan to do to contribute, so as much as I can help. So let's start first with the two main reasons why reviews must suck. First is the limits of people who do reviews, and next is what manufacturers do. So let's start with those two. When we talk about professional reviewers, influencers, tech and equipment reviewers and magazines and whatnot, time is a very limiting factor. So if you want to really thoroughly test something, you must you really use it and use it for a certain amount of time to get the real impression, and that is often limited by deadlines and other small fine print. And I'm not even talking about paid reviews where people deliberately lie. I'm talking about objective limitations of people who do professional reviews. So they are very well aware of that, and they cannot fix it, even if they wanted to. So everything that you read in magazine, that you watch on YouTube reviews and anything, you can mostly disregard it. There are a few exceptions, I'll discuss that too. Now, when it comes to customer reviews, it would be normal to assume that, okay, some of those are also paid, like bots and paid people to write reviews, even though they are really working for the company, but some are genuine. And people often say that on Reddit they can find people who use it, so first-hand experience and whatnot. Problem with that, and this comes from my experience and experience with people who are high-profile professionals when it comes to marketing, is that, and this will hurt some people, and I too fall under that category because I also leave reviews and do reviews. So customers that do reviews are people with too much time on their hands and often clueless. Also, there is a real bias when it comes to customer reviews. People leave reviews either when they are very happy or when they are very disappointed. And that's the main two categories, and it's also often not very objective. And to add to that, to make it even more complicated, people often, as I mentioned, don't really know how to use it or how to use it properly, or don't use it, as I say, hard enough to really test the limits because they don't have experience with testing equipment and so on. So everything that you read for customer reviews is really, I discussed that with my friend Milos recently, when people say, well, that served well for me. And we were talking about bicycle components, and we ride hard on rough roads and long mileages. And we know the person we're talking to that rides short distances on paved roads, and we're thinking, what did you even test? You could not really put that to the test to come to a conclusion that it's serving well or not, because, okay, the person is not lying, but I would not take that opinion with a lot of faith that something is strong and robust until it's properly tested. So those are some things that come, and again, I'm here talking about honest mistakes, not deliberately misleading. There is a whole lot of that going on. Bribery, pressures, and so on, even for reviewers and things like that. So what you can do to try to mitigate that and get some sense of what really is good or not, especially when it comes to robustness. But even for the usability and features, even that is often not mentioned, all the details. But when it comes to robustness and durability, what you can do is look for people who you trust, that's for you to figure out, and long-term reviews. For a year or longer, everything under that is questionable, and it must be real use. And that, of course, when it comes to professional reviewers and even customers making reviews, you buy something, are you going to remember in 2 years to write a review? You probably won't. Most normal people won't do that. And also for professional reviewers, they cannot make one review per year to test just one product or 10 products that they use every day, but that's still a very limited amount of reviews they can do in a given time. So that's like a closed loop. You cannot really get that right, and that's the spirit of the times we live in today. Second main reason why reviews suck is that manufacturers do their best to make it difficult to give long-term reviews. They will often change products, do some minor tweaks, and it is often made not to make them better and more durable, but to be able to market them as better and more durable or whatnot, whatever they think will make more sales. That is the kind of features that they do, and they try, especially, well, with most things, to cut prices and corners and costs, not prices, to increase prices, but to cut costs wherever they can. So if you try to do an honest long-term review, you finish it and then the product is put out of sales and they bring another and they swear, oh, this is a different product. You cannot apply what you just experienced to the new product. That's fair. So manufacturers make it impossible for you to figure out what's good and what's not. And the few manufacturers that make high quality products and don't change them often lose in that game. So it is not a market competition where the best wins. That is a common misconception, but it boils down to marketing, and that is why we have less and less durable stuff that is getting more and more expensive. And they are all the time trying to gaslight us into thinking that that's not the case. So what I will try to do is make reviews that I will call TAMAN. That is a Serbian term that means in translation, it cannot be the real spirit of the word really translated to a foreign language, but it means most closely translates to just right. So I will post reviews of products that I've used for a year or longer or 10 years that I'm very happy with, and I will try to make them so that to pick those that are still available so that you can go and buy that. Again, I am one human. I do use my equipment properly, but I use it hard and not baby it. So that understands that I know what I'm talking about. That's what I will be reviewing. Know how to use it properly. From improper use, damage, that's a separate topic. And I do not baby it. I do use it as it should be. So that's the kind of things that I will try to do in the following from now on. And that is one more reason why you will not see and I will not accept paid reviews, because that puts a lot of stress and burden, and it is inherently bad for me. Because if someone gives me something for free, and especially if they pay me to do review, I will have to test it for a full year at least to make a real good review, and then I will have that like a burden on my back until I get it over with and finish it, and that doesn't feel good. So for me, I test stuff that I really use, that I really need, so I will go and buy them and use them. That's most of my reviews basically. Maybe I got a few products at a discount, one or two, and maybe got one or two for free for the entire 10 years that I've been writing articles and making videos and so on. And that was under conditions that I must not be pressured with deadlines or anything, and that I will be objective, but it still didn't feel right because it felt like a burden to me. It goes without discussion that I will make a good testing and an objective review, but it still didn't feel right. So the reason why I got to thinking about this and considering it is because I see a lot of nonsense products and trying to capitalize on our fears and on our desires that they try to, well, basically really very capable people are doing a lot to manipulate you, and I see a lot of nonsense in the areas of expertise that I am expert in and that I know what I'm talking about. So mostly bicycles, technology, so computers, cameras, laptops, that's what I do for a living. As a systems administrator, so mostly the tech stuff, and for hobby I fix all sorts of things and tools and everything. So that's what it boils down to. And of course I will not be discussing products that I'm not an expert in, and that is another limitation, but that is my contribution, what I can do. So That's the whole video. Thank you very much for watching. If you think that more people should see this video, this platform works by rewarding user engagement instead of quality. So if you want more people to see this video, if you think that's a good idea, you should write a comment. I don't know why, but that's how it works, and hit that like button. That also helps. So that's for you to decide. I also want to thank the good people who support me on Patreon, and that is highly helpful and appreciated. So you can also support me on patreon.com/BikeGremlin. So that's it. If you have any questions that you want answers that you can easily find later on and Google them and everyone else to find them, please use my forum, BikeGremlin.net. There the questions and answers are clear to everyone, and you can take just 1 second to register there. You can use if you're on YouTube and have a Google account, you can use that account to log in and register with two clicks. So it's as simple as it could be, without allowing bots and other spammers to swarm it. So for comments, apparently YouTube especially will limit who can find my videos even using search if comments are not allowed and not present. That's how they want it. So I had to re-enable comments on all my videos, even though I know that any answers I give in the comments will not help more than the one person that asked the question. So that's the downside. So that's the whole video. Thank you very much if you sat through all this, and I'll see you in some other video. Cheers, stay cool.